Well, what a Monaco Grand Prix that was. And I don't really know where to start, so I guess we start before the race and qualifying. Charles Leclerc putting it on pole at home, despite having a crash in the end of qualifying 3, which we later knew would be the reason he didn't start the race. Such rotten luck this guy has at home. It was obvious before the race, the Ferrari should be able to do quite well here. But I didn't expect it to be able to be capable of pole. But again, it's a question of what could have been. What could have been in qualifying had Leclerc not crashed. He might have still been on pole, but I reckon Verstappen probably would have had him. And what would have happened in the race had Leclerc started, and especially starting from pole. There was every chance of Ferrari, if that car was intact, could have won today. In fact, they probably could have gotten a double points finish if they broke the parc fermé to change the stuff at the back of the car. They still apparently don't know what's wrong with the car. I recorded this just after the race itself ended. That said, with Sainz in second and Norris in third, that's excellent for for just an average fan of Formula 1. Lewis Hamilton down in 7th, the last car on the lead lap, and in terms of the championship, Verstappen leads by 6 or 7 points now, and Red Bull lead the constructors by 1. It's the first time in nearly 3 years that Mercedes has not been at the head of both championships. And that's just spectacular. And let's talk about Mercedes. Let's talk about the Brackley team, because for them, it's just been a weekend to forget. You'd have thought that Netflix would have given the tropes of how these teams tend to perform badly when they have that crew following them. Bottas out with a problem in the pit stop. Mercedes still having problems in pit stops. No clue why. And Lewis, he started off poorly because his quali was bad. But he ended up getting jumped to the pit stop phase by both Gasly and Vettel. Whilst he was able to claw back a little bit towards the end of the race, he ended up taking the second stop to go for the fastest lap. Which, well, fair enough when that's probably the best you could do, P7. And this is the thing. I'm talking about the fact that Lewis performed badly, but we're not talking about the fact that Vettel was in 5th. 5th place in the Aston Martin. That's spectacular, especially given that the Aston probably shouldn't be performing so well, given the Mercedes wasn't really performing as well as, say, the Red Bulls and the Ferraris and even the McLarens this weekend. Perez in 4th is a solid kind of finish as well, but if Bottas was still in the race, Verstappen would have been without a rear gunner. Of course, Monaco is notoriously bad for overtaking, but that's something that we still need to talk about, is Verstappen hasn't had an out-and-out race-long challenge this season. I mean, you could possibly argue Spain, but then Spain, it was Mercedes did a strategic masterclass, whereas this time it seemed more like a strategic blunder during their pit stop phase. But at the same time, Imola, he wasn't really challenged so much. And it was largely the same at Portugal. He couldn't really challenge Bahrain. He got reeled in by Mercedes towards the end, got past, and couldn't get back past. Verstappen hasn't won a race this season that's been through a race-long battle with someone. He's tended to be off in a distance while someone else has a problem. And if I was Red Bull, even though we're seeing Red Bull and Verstappen leading the 2 championships, it's the first time in Verstappen's career he's led the championship, I'd be getting a little bit concerned. Because even though Baku's next, where Red Bull has gone strong in the past, Mercedes could easily still be very close at Baku. And Baku is a better place for overtaking as well, with 2 DRS zones instead of the 1, and both on long straights. It's also a place where pit stops really can decide the race, as well as safety cars. Speaking of, surprised we didn't see one today. But yeah, can't really think of much else to say right now. So thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.